The registry allowed all the entries to be in one location. All the options, every item about your computer is stored here. For example, for the current user, all the items that go with the control panel are here. How I've configured my mouse. If I click the mouse, see I got the mouse speed here, and it's currently set to 1. Well, I could double click that and change that to 3. Now, it may not take effect until I log in. You won't find this dynamically changes, like my mouse is super fast now, but that's an option I can change. Let me put it back to 1. The desktop, infrared, lots of different options here. Well, think what I'm saying. We've stored everything in one database. This is a prime target for somebody wanting to perhaps do some damage to your computer, to have a program run automatically when your system starts up. There's lots of different options under this, and I'm not an expert on this. What you'll find is that you have to go through Microsoft certification to understand all these different items under here. As an IT professional, though, you should know some of the basics so you can do some basic troubleshooting yourself. If I expand software, you won't have the same options as me. And we want to go to Microsoft. Looks like I already have this expanded. And then Windows, current version, run. If I'm going to try to infect your system in some manner, one method is to come here and put a new entry. Now, sometimes you can easily spot that because the directory location does not match where it should be stored at. So you can go to a search engine, and you can find out, you can Google, where should it actually be stored at. And if it's stored in some bizarre directory location, probably it's a virus, because there's set places where these items need to be stored at. They won't just store a particular file in any location. Another method to determine is, since this is under app data, local, KME, net session, then expand that, net session _ win.exe. This particular file here should have a size associated with it, and these sizes are stored off. When this company came up with this program, this particular version of that program, because there may be different versions with the same name, but like if this was version 3, then it would have a size associated with it. And this is oftentimes how a virus protection package will determine if a file, if there's something incorrect about a file. If the file size is too large, then that could mean that it's not the file it should be, or perhaps something's been tacked on to the end of that particular program that will cause a malware to run in your computer. The run is one place. There's run once. Now the run once is, remember, where you've in the past installed a software, and then it'll tell you to reboot your computer so you can finish the installation. This run once is what it runs that second after you restart the computer. Usually you don't see an option stay in run once for many cycles. You may have a different software package that maybe you have to reboot twice to get it installed, but typically you don't see that. Okay, now that's under Windows. You'll also find options under Windows NT. Now, you may have some under Windows, you may not have under Windows NT, or you may have them under both. So there's no real reason. It's kind of based upon whatever you've installed on your computer. Now, if I expand the current version, then as you look down here, you see we have less options, and I don't see any particular auto run that's being run, so I can't expand it any further. Now that was under current user. Under local machine, this is where somebody who's trying to infect your computer would cause something to run, and it would be under your local machine, and this will affect every user of the system, not just the current user, but any user. Now, you have permissions to install programs, maybe, on a computer. Administrator rights gives you access to everything, but perhaps they give you access to certain parts of the registry. If I come to software here, you probably have to be under administrator to be able to input entries here. Now you see there's again different options available here. We'll go into Microsoft, and I'll scroll down. You see we got Windows again. Expand that. And current version, expand that. And you see we got run. Looks like it runs this HP program here. This macro key manager. Now you may be looking at that and say, well, it doesn't say the directory location. These are handled differently. There's each entry here is not maybe specific to just that one program, but there may be 100 entries spread throughout the registry, and they sometimes work in conjunction with each other to figure out where it's stored at. It doesn't necessarily search your entire hard drive trying to find this file. When I say that, you can see that I got many different programs installed here. Here's a Elmo program, ImageMate. Here's some environment, language, and you can see here's a binary. We didn't add a binary, but probably you're not sitting there manually inputting this. This is generated and stored, and it represents, the program that generated this and stored it, it represents something about the system for Elmo that needs to be stored. As a programmer, you can create your own entries out here, and you can store off anything you want to save for the user to use in the next run of the program. For example, in Word, when you run it a second time, you can access the recent Word documents that you brought up. You can change various options in Word, the font size perhaps, and you save it off, and then next time you go in, it'll have that new font size, or the new font. Of course, having all this in one place, this is just a prime target for hackers, because they know they can come in here, they can put entries in, and the average person does not know how to get into the registry. Many IT professionals do not fully understand the registry. Like I say, to become an expert at this, you have to get a Microsoft certification. So it's not a trivial matter to understand how all these different options work together. And that's just the software. There's hardware associated with the computer. SAM, couldn't tell you what SAM is. Like I say, I'm not an expert on this, and you don't have to be an expert. Think how long it would take you to understand every option on here. We had a Microsoft certified systems engineer come to work for a company that I was at, and he didn't understand everything that was out here. I doubt if you'd find somebody at Microsoft that understood all the different entries that could be out here. They focus on just their particular part of the registry. There's system. Now here's an interesting one. Classes root. This is where a lot of different options are stored. And you see I got .blend here. Expand that. And comes down here. And you get down to your data here. Well, you can see if you look at the data, it's like, what does that mean? Well, that take a lot to try to figure out what in the world that's referring to. The .blend is an extension on your computer. This is for Blender files. Okay, the reason why I kind of go over this miscellaneous information, I want you to understand how the registry is a complete database of everything on your Windows. So if this gets damaged, if it gets, you have some kind of virus, some kind of malware that attacks this, then this is where a lot of damage can be done. From an IT standpoint, before you start calling a company and paying $150 an hour to debug a computer, simply come out here, go to your current user, go to the software, go to Microsoft, and see if something's running that shouldn't be. Very simple check to be done. Or you can use auto run S and find the same information. If you're a home user even, and you have a little bit of IT knowledge, if you're to the point where your computer is slowed down so much that you're ready to buy a new one, come out here and uncheck every one of those items in auto run S under the run option, no matter where it's at. Reboot and see if your computer's faster. If you're going to get a new computer anyway, what does it matter? And you might find that a lot of those options will really slow down your computer. So this is a invaluable debugging technique to use either Registry or auto run S.